ARM 公司在中国的高级工程总监，他曾代表 ARM 参加 Linux Foundation， 担任 Linaro 技术指导委员会。他的分享议题是 ARM 致力于开源创新，他将分享 ARM 对全球开源社区开放协作的工作，以及使数百万开发人员能够精心策划他们在 ARM 架构上测试和构建应用程序。谢谢。
大家好。Hi everyone. My name is Thomas, and I head up engineering for ARM in China. I'm fortunate enough to call Shanghai my home. And I'm smiling a little bit today because the last time I attended a conference with this amount of people in a room was in 2019. So it feels really, really good to be back and to attend events like this one. So I'm really happy to see, I see a lot of old friends in here. I think I'm meeting some new friends today and these next couple of days. And I want to thank everyone for being here, in particular friends of ours that traveled from around the world to be here today. And the next couple of days. So thank you very much for that. Today I'm going to talk about ARM's commitment to innovation. I'm going to talk about how we do some of our partnerships in open source, whether it's locally here in China or what we do globally. And I hope the folks in the back of the room that you can hear me. Otherwise, please just raise your hand and I'll yell a little bit louder. So, for ARM, open source is absolutely essential to everything we do as a company. The ongoing collaboration that we have not only leads to innovation, but it's also very important input to the continuous evolution of the ARM architecture. And why that matters is really all about the stability and predictability of the architecture, which enables the developers around the world to land the best solutions and the most innovative applications, if you will, on top of an ARM-based systems. We contribute to over 1,200 open source projects around the technology spectrum, whether you talk about the cloud, to the edge, all the way out to the endpoint. And we continuously are expanding our partnerships with the different communities out there to enable open source innovation. So in the next couple of slides, I'm going to take you on a bit of a mad dash, a rapid journey through some of the things we are doing across multiple segments. There we go. So AI, let's start with that one. So that's a vital part of open source innovation. We have made a commitment to the software ecosystem to do everything we can to enable AI everywhere in a common way as possible. So we're enabling a number of different things. So ARM-based hardware is being enabled with increased machine learning capabilities through open source frameworks and libraries in all of the places where developers need support. So that could be things like what you see on the slide here, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Caffe2, but also things like OpenVINO, TVM, and so forth. A lot of you will have heard about ARM-NN. We have over 100 million active users of the ARM-NN software development kit. So that means developers can optimize the execution of machine learning workloads on the latest ARM v9, CPUs, and our ARM GPUs. I'll get back to talking a bit about the GPUs in one of the coming slides. So what this does is it creates AI innovation and it creates a foundation for the open source community. And thanks to the pervasiveness of the ARM architecture, developers can actually build AI applications on the widest available and the most stable compute platform in the market today. So for more detail about the work that we do with the AI developer ecosystem, later today at the conference there is actually a really interesting talk by one of my colleagues, and I encourage you to attend the talk where you will learn a lot more about what we do with AI and the inroads that we're making to empower developers to unleash AI everywhere. So please consider attending the talk later today by my colleague, who's in the front of the audience here. I mentioned GPU before. We continue a very long-standing collaboration we have with, I'm sorry, wrong slide. So we do continue a long-standing collaboration with Linaro. I suspect a lot of you guys in the audience will have heard about Linaro, where we're one of the founding members. And Linaro is all about ensuring open source development and ensuring that the community has access to the latest tools and the broadest range of them. So we're involved in a variety of open source projects within Linaro. And interestingly enough, one of the projects I find quite exciting is the Windows on ARM working group that is inside Linaro today, where we are working on enabling a number of commonly used tools and packages, and that includes things like Electron, Chromium, LLVM, and Python. There's also trusted firmware, and that was an open source initiative and a project initially hosted by ARM, which we moved into be what's called a Linaro community project. We did that back in 2018. And what trusted firmware does, it provides a reference, a list of reference software for all of your security needs. And the secure software then is being deployed across multiple devices across all of these segments. You will hear me reference trusted firmware in a few slides from now as well. So all of that work that happens inside Linaro and in the open source community, that has enabled Python, which is the most commonly used embedded language across a broad range of ARM-based technologies and across all major operating systems. And that additional layer of support for Python actually came through conversations we were having in the communities about what the communities want from us. So we do spend a lot of time engaging, we spend a lot of time listening, and doing what we can to take the necessary action to ensure that we deliver proof points on these conversations. And now to GPU. We realize that there is a need for an alternative open source software stack to support the latest ARM GPUs so that we can more effectively cater to Linux developers and the wider open source community. So that's why we have continued a partnership with Collabora on the open source Mali GPU driver that they have been driving, which is called Panfrost. This is an expanded partnership, and through that partnership, device manufacturers can choose SoCs with a Mali GPU in it, and that's regardless of the software, operating system, and the graphics middleware. So Panfrost is now effectively the GPU driver for the Linux community, and it provides a high-quality open source Linux implementation that can be used across products and solutions. And then there's the embedded markets. We understand that developers are facing increased software complexity. So we've actually worked with AWS to implement FreeRTOS. FreeRTOS is their real-time open source operating system kernel for embedded devices. And we've embedded that into our Corestone 300 IoT solution. So that's an open source offering that shows developers how to run software on our Cortex-M CPU designs with best practices, standards, integration with PSA certified, and adopting trusted firmware. And all of that's included. So what it does is it accelerates the workflows, and it makes embedded devices more accessible across the open source community while providing connections to the AWS services. And then networking. So in order to grow 5G deployments worldwide, we've moved our RAN acceleration library, which is referred to as RAL, into the open source code base. So that means that developers can use, modify, and distribute RAL code without any restrictions. It also means more open source innovation, with developers able to expand the software library they care about through adding new functionalities. And something a bit more local, we've got a wide range of partnerships from cloud to edge in support of the open source community. We collaborate with Tencent Cloud, we collaborate with Alibaba Cloud in order to harmonize their respective cloud services on the ARM architecture. And we partner with Baidu to accelerate development, deployment of AI solutions at the edge by leveraging Baidu's experience in AI technology and our strength in power-efficient computing. So that provides efficient performance, it provides optimized user experiences, and this is already being positively recognized and appreciated within the China open source community. The teams I work with here in Shanghai have very deep engagements with these companies that we see here, as well as a number of other companies based here in China. And that just continues expanding, which is testament to the amount of interest that we see in collaborating around open source here in China. So, whether we're talking around taking advantage of the new AI workloads, or we're talking about targeting new or different technology markets, ARM delivers the capabilities and tools that allow all of the open source community to write easier, simpler, faster, more secure, and more innovative software. We are investing a significant amount of engineering hours in supporting the open source community and contributing to projects, as well as expanding the partnerships that we have around the world so we can deliver greater success and more performance to the world's software developers. And across every corner of the technology ecosystem, ARM is working to deliver optimum developer environments for the open source community. And this will be my last slide. I'm going to do a bit of promotion. Our biggest event in China is happening in late November here, or in 3 cities across China, so Beijing, Shenzhen, and Shanghai. It's the ARM Tech Symposia, which is an annual technology gathering that we host, where we bring together all of our ecosystem partners to foster collaboration. So we have thousands of attendees from all sorts of domains around the industry. So whether you're a hardware engineer, a software developer, whether you're working in a foundry, whether you're a silicon partner, an OEM, an ODM, this is where the ARM community meets and exchanges ideas and gain new knowledge. So you'll see the QR code there, so I encourage you to follow the ARM community WeChat for more information. There's also something called the ARM Developer Program, which I hope a lot of you are familiar with. If you're a part of the ARM Developer Program, you have access to 15 million developers worldwide, where you can be part of building the future of computing on ARM. Finally, on the top left corner, booth S10. That's our booth in the next couple of days. I encourage you guys, if you're walking around, stop by and say hi. You'll find myself or a number of my colleagues there. We can't wait to talk to you guys. Thank you very much.